All right, good evening, all of you. Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome all of you to this session. Can you mute your audio first, please, so that when I call you can put it on. Thank you. So this is the Young Investors Network. Through our many visits to campuses, through our many interactions with students, we normally deal with students and young people. It has come to our realization that a lot of you have interest in the stock market, you have interest in the capital market, but you're not able to relate properly to what is happening in the market. The understanding is not really there. So we took it upon ourselves to embark on trainings. Okay, to embark on trainings to ensure that we give you the necessary understanding when it comes to financial market. But the thing too is that currently we receive messages from people like yourself who want to invest in stocks, who want to buy bonds and so forth. Okay, some of them have even suggested that they join the Young Investors Network to help us champion the cause of promoting the Ghana Stock Exchange. But we don't see young people flooding our investment firms, asking questions and all that. All right, we wonder why it's happening like this. I don't know for you, the ladies, but for the guys, a lot of them have entered into betting. All right, and that area too, for me, it's an investment because once you put your money into a venture and you expect a return, it's an investment you are doing. It's high risk too, but a lot of the guys are doing it. The stock market is an area that easily, once you put your mind to it, you can easily make some predictions as well. But we do not see young people in Ghana doing a lot of stock market activity. We want to find answers. We want to find reasons why young people are not really attracted to the stock market. So joining me today to answer this question, we have. Okay, first on my list, I have Emanuela Che Bafwo. She's a student of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, offering logistics and supply chain management. She's also a web developer and a stock trading trainee. Emanuela, if you are here, can you say hi to us? I have Charlene Otin Asama. Charlene is a student of the University of Ghana studying business administration, accounting major. She's a member of the Young Investors Network. She's a finance enthusiast. She loves random research and sports. And she's also a finalist of the stock pitch competition. Again, we have Yovela Ama Ewa. Yovela is a final year student of the University of Ghana, offering finance and economics. She participated in the first training of the stock pitch competition. That was 2020, but she is yet to participate. We're hoping to see you very soon participating in the stock pitch competition. And she's very particular about self-development. She's very passionate about the financial world. Okay. The next is Rabba Asare Ansa. She's also a student of the University of Ghana Business School, pursuing Bachelor of Science in Administration. She's the Vice President of the University of Ghana Business School. She volunteers at Financial Literacy Africa, Ghana. She's interned at EcoBank Ghana and PwC Ghana. She was also a finalist at the stock pitch competition in the same team of Charlene. Next on the list is Harriet Amabiu. I hope I'm pronouncing it correct. Biu, right? I think I should have told you.
That's correct.
That's correct. Thank you. So, she's a student of the University of Ghana Business School. Her intellectual curiosity and passion for continuous development allows her to learn and explore varied interests and skills. She was a participant of the stock pitch competition. She won the University of Ghana edition, but failed to show up in the final because of some personal reasons beyond her control. She was one of the at that time. But we were very sad when she did not turn up. Next on the list, Ivy. Now let me go to Patience Sehoni. All right, so Patience studied she studied Bachelor of Science in accounting at the UPSA. Sorry, she did a national service Chartered Bank. She was with the customer service team of the Young Investors. She is with the customer service team of the Young Investors Fund. She is looking to impact society through service and leadership. Welcome, ladies. I hope I've read everybody's profile. Okay. Okay, so I think it's left with Ivy. Ivy, I don't think I've read Ivy's profile. So Ivy is a final year student of the University of Ghana, reading finance and Kiswahili. She's a campus director of the Young Investors Network. She's a FINSA president, the CEO of Lab Design. She designs a lot. She's been designing some of our artworks that it wasn't seen around. And she is here to participate in the topic of safety. Welcome, ladies. All right, so let's move straight to Novella. You are going to answer this question. Do you have any shares listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange?
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Novella.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so when did you first hear about the stock market?
When I was in SHS, around 2017, some of my juniors came to ask me about shares, and we had a discussion on shares, and then I got to know that, okay, so Ghana has their own stock markets where you can buy shares and also sell shares on.
Okay, so which company do you hold shares in? If you would like
MTN, Stanchart, and GCB.
Okay, so you are an active investor on the stock market. So far, what has been your experience? Is there anything you'd like to share with us?
Okay, yes. So initially, the first share I bought was in MTN. That was when they had their IPO. And the thing was, I didn't know so much about the stock market and then how it is when you want to buy and then sell shares. So I bought it through my mobile money number. So I have an account, I have shares in MTN, all right, but then it's not directly linked to any CSD account. That's a Central Securities Depository account. So that was one issue I faced. So later on, when I got to know about brokerage companies in Ghana, and then they creating an account for you on the stock market, and that is when I got my other shares in Standard Chartered Bank and then Ghana Commercial Bank.
Okay, so in comparing the returns you have gained in the shares that you have holdings in compared to other, do you have other investments? If yes, if you compare the two, what has been the experience like?
Okay, so I also have investments in the debt markets. So I've bought some bonds and commercial bills before. The difference is that with the debt markets, your returns don't take long to come. And then when they come, it is higher. The returns are higher as compared to what you get from the stock markets, because the companies I've invested so far on the stock markets are being paid dividends every year. And if I'm to compare the dividends I receive to the returns I get on my debt instruments, and also the time it takes for me to get those returns, I'll say I prefer to invest in the debt markets as compared to the equity market. Also,
Right, sorry.
Okay, so one thing I also want to add is with the rise and fall in the share prices, in 2020, when the pandemic came, Standard Chartered's share price fell from 70 Ghana cedis to 15 cedis thereabouts, 15 cedis thereabouts, and it was a huge loss for those of us who had invested inside. So I prefer the debt market to the equity market.
I would like you to quickly do a check on the statistic you are giving right now. All right, on Snapchat, the coming of COVID and the drop in the share price. I think you have to do a check and come back to us. Charlene, when was the first time you bought some shares, or are you a shareholder of any stocks listed on the market?
Well, no, I'm not a shareholder in any of the listed companies. No.
Why? What's delaying you?
So to be very honest, well, I heard of the stock market first in SHS as well. When we're like getting introduced to various companies, we got to know that they have their IPOs and all of that, like on the stock market. But then I feel they are far away. In as much as they are in Ghana, you see banks are closer to you, you feel banks are with you. I see the stock market to be something that is very far, like far reached. It's not within my like jurisdiction to want to go and purchase. I think like, okay, maybe it's for the big men. So that's why I've not really made the attempt to like want to invest in the stock market. Yeah.
So your issue is that it's not very accessible. It's not very accessible to you. Okay, let me move straight to Ivy. Ivy, back door, you told me you had no interest in the market. Why this statement? Why? What is happening? Tell me.
But please can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much. So I don't find interest in the stock market, not because I don't want to or I've not heard about it. So I heard about it when I came to level 100. But just as Odin said, I feel it's not easily accessible, and also I feel it's for rich people, and if you don't have any knowledge about the stock market, you can't go into the stock market. So that's why I'm kind of reluctant about that.
Okay, Ivy, thank you. Patience, you are an accounting student, right? Or you graduated in a GSE in accounting. It's expected that you should have some level of knowledge about investment, financial analysis, and this kind of stuff. Do you hold shares in any company?
Not yet, but I intend to do.
Hello, Patience, we can't hear you.
Oh, okay. I said not yet, but I intend to do so.
So what's delaying you? You have completed your 4-year course. You've done a national service in a bank, in a financial institution. All right. And persons that work in financial institutions, the expectation is that I'm getting a feedback from somebody. I'm getting a feedback from one of
Okay,
you.
I don't know. I'm having some problems here, so
Okay. Let me move to the next person. Okay. Let me move to the next person. Rabna, please, are you here?
Yes, please, I'm here.
Rabna, which company do you hold shares in?
I think we are still getting the feedback from Patience.
Patience, can you mute your audio, please? Okay.
Okay, thank you. So I did it through brokerage firms. So I did one through Data Bank and then one through EcoBank. So not directly through the Ghana Stock Exchange, but then through these brokerage firms.
Okay. Normally, when you want to buy shares, you actually have to do it through brokerage firms. So I think you're taking the right procedure. Okay. So when first did you hear about the stock market?
Well, I think in senior high school economics class, you'd hear Ghana Stock Exchange in theory, but I didn't really understand what it was all about until I came to university. And then when I attend forums or things like that, you hear them say, okay, investment. And we had Data Bank come on board to tell us about their investment options. And so that's how come I got to really appreciate what investing in Ghana Stock Exchange was all about.
Okay, so if I may ask, when did you first get direct, let's say, contact with the Ghana Stock Exchange, having to do something directly in the market? Which year was that? How old were you? Can you just give us a brief about that?
When I directly got into contact with the Ghana Stock Exchange, I don't get the question.
No, what I mean is, when did you first buy your shares? When did you first have, let's say, a direct interaction with an activity? You know, some of us, we first got our first experience when we walked into a brokerage, and somebody told us about, we walked into a brokerage firm to purchase. So I want to know, when was that? Was it right after you? I'm not talking about the theory in SHS.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think somewhere in 2019 when I got to hear about data bank. But then it was just this year that I actually took the step to make investments with data bank and then EDC.
Okay. So what has been the experience like?
I just started, so I don't really have much experience. But then the EcoBank one was online. Okay, so I filled an online form with my passport details, Ghana card, all of that. And they sent me a mail. And then you have this, you'd send the money through an SMS, an online system. So EcoBank was digitally, and then Data Bank, I had to go there physically to start my investments with them.
Okay, so within a short period of time, we're able to open your account. In terms of convenience, how would you grade between 1 to 10? Open the account opening process, how will you grade the process between 1 to 10?
Okay, for EDC, I'll give them a 10 over 10.
Okay.
For Data Bank, I'll give them 8 over 10.
Okay, so this tells me you don't go through much stress in opening your account. That
Yes,
is good to know. That is very good to know. Okay, so Harriet, are you here, please? Harriet.
Yes, please. I'm
Yeah.
present.
So when did you first hear about the stock market?
Thank you so much for the question. I first heard about the stock exchange, the GSE, in senior high school. I think there was a team of investors. It was a group like something like the Young Investors Network from the US, and they came to our school recruiting students for some information sessions at the exchange, and they introduced us to some of the activities of the exchange. Yeah, that was my first encounter.
Okay, so after that, what step did you take to enter?
So back then, even though they were explaining things to us, I still did not have a very good understanding of investment and the activities of the exchange, in as much as they tried to explain and expose us to some of the things there. And I think it is through organizations like yours and people in the industry that I've come into contact with, that have come to better understand what it is, and like through the courses, the foundational courses we are taking here in school, that have come to better have a better appreciation of it and know that it is more real than I thought it was when they were talking about it to us.
Okay, so Harriet, do you know that you don't need to be extraordinarily rich to be a shareholder? Do you know that?
Yes, I do, please.
So what is preventing you? Why are you not taking the step? Are you not convinced? Because you did your analysis, I think in March 2021, very solid analysis, one of the best that we came across. Why haven't you taken the step to buy the stock that you did the analysis to?
I think why have I not taken the step yet? I think is probably getting, okay, I think getting access to the brokerage house is like which one, the decision on which firm to deal with, right? Yes, I think that's been one of the main hurdles. Which one, how do I select which brokerage house to work with? And yeah, I think that has been the main thing.
Okay, so it's mainly because of access.
Yes, I guess. I
Okay.
think so.
But let me go to Ivy. Ivy, Ivy, when you first heard about the Ghana Stock Exchange, what first came to mind? What did you first think about when the Ghana Stock Exchange came? When you heard it, what first came to mind?
Security. I mean, we've been hearing it in class, and I thought so. Aside security, what came into mind was also investment. So I know that so far as you are dealing with the Ghana Stock Exchange or something like the Ghana Stock Exchange, it's mainly about investment. So we are putting money into securities, and then you would have to later on get some returns from it.
Okay. Okay. So, Charlene, you know, one of the duties of the GSE is to ensure that information about companies that gets to the investment public and all stakeholders.
Maybe kindly come again with your question. I'm not getting you clearly.
Okay, so I'm saying one of the duties of the exchange is to ensure that information from listed entities reach out to the investing public as quickly as possible so that we may take decisions. In doing your analysis, and embarking on your analysis on the stock market competition, what was the experience like? Access to information. Take us through it.
Okay, so prepping for my competition and all of that, the information I would say was there, but it was not readily accessible. Like you would have to dig deeper if you'd want to like, know more and all of that. Away the normal sense or normal Ghanaian, it's like GSE. For instance, you want a particular information, you'd have to like go the extra miles, like want to find it. For me, it wasn't easy. I had to go here, compare it from here. And then what I realized was most of the information there was not up to date. Most of them were outdated. And then you'd have to like go the extra miles, like find other stuff, like to back what you want. So for me, finding information about GSE isn't easy. The information there I feel is kind of vague. Yeah.
Okay, so which site or which platform was your main source of information?
So my main source of information was the Ghana Stock Exchange, their website. Yeah, that was what I went to. So for there you can access their the financial statements of the various companies that are listed, how their share prices, how it has performed so far. So you find all of that information from there and you're able to make your analysis from there. Yeah.
So if I heard you rightly earlier on, you were saying that the information were not up to date from the GSE website. So where did you get your final information to share with us?
So from the final information, because it was like an analysis and you're able to do it year on year or like quarter on quarter, you'd have to project and do estimations. That's like one of the things that we did to be able to get there. For the financial statements, for the financials, they are all there. Yeah, for the financials, everything is there up to date. But I mean, like, what would actually push you to want to invest in this? Like, I really want to do this. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So are you satisfied with the information that you had on the GSE website?
Well, yeah, for now, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied because like I was able to dig deeper. I found what I want. So yeah, I feel I'm satisfied with the information I have about GSE now.
Okay. Patience. In your interactions with friends, colleagues, okay, in terms of maybe career, wanting to make some money and all that, does the stock exchange come to mind? Patience, the question is for you. You're still facing challenges, yeah. All right, Ivy, can you help us to answer that?
Please, the question again.
Okay, so the question is, in your interactions with friends, colleagues, all right, career-wise, wanting to make money in the future, does the stock exchange come to mind when you're having such discussion?
So out of 10%, out of 10, I would say it barely comes to mind. Like it barely comes.
It barely comes to mind.
And in my interactions with people about career, about academics, and all that, the Ghana Stock Exchange doesn't.
It doesn't come to mind at all. Okay, I'm not going to ask you what you talk about, but Amma, and interacting with your friends, Robela, interacting with your friends, career, wanting to make money, does the stock exchange come to mind?
No, even if it comes, it's not the Ghanaian stock market. It is either it's foreign, it's the foreign stock market. It's normally we discuss Bitcoin and maybe forex trading, but we don't really talk about Ghana's stock exchange.
Wow. So in talking about the foreign markets, do you have any account with any foreign brokerage firm? Do you trade on the foreign market?
No, unfortunately, I don't know how to set one from Ghana. Yeah.
But you have interest in discussing those topics other than Ghana Stock Exchange, right?
Yes. Their market is more liquid as compared to ours, and then they have a lot of very good companies on it. And I mean, the Ghanaian market is the Ghanaian stock market is, sorry to say, but it's very dull. You hardly see any activity going on it.
Okay, so Rabna, are you aware that the GSE returned about 42% last year to investors? 42%. And the Treasury bill bond market were hovering around 17. The 1 year note was about 16%, 16 point something percent. 91 day was just about 13, 12, between 12, 13%. Do you know the GSE returned the hoping 42%, just about 42%? Why is it that you guys are saying there's little activity on the market? Because there's a lot of money to make there. Rabbi.
Well, I think accessibility to this information could also be a problem. And we are also part of the problem, because, I mean, most of what you are saying, I'm not abreast with this. I had no idea. And I believe that that's why most of my colleagues, or that's why Yovali was saying that she's more interested in the foreign markets, because we don't have this information. We are not interested in Ghana Stock Exchange. But then programs like this, forums like this are opening us to informations like this. And particularly for me, I deal with the data bank, the brokerage firms, not directly with the Ghana Stock Exchange.
Okay, so basically you are saying the GSE is not blowing its own horns. Is that what you are saying? Basically.
To some extent, yes.
Some extent. But I saw in your profile that you have much interest in business news and related items. So how is it that this information escaped you, or how did I be muted? Because they've been talking about city business news, Joy Business, and so on. It's online. Is it that you are not following up with the information, or the information? Are you saying the information should follow you, or you have to look out for it? I want to
definitely, we have to search for that information. Definitely.
Charlene, do you agree with her? Does the information have to follow you, or you have to search for the information?
You have to search for it. You have to. Yeah.
Let me come back to Amma. In searching for the information, you were telling us that the foreign markets were very active. How did you get that information? Did you look out for it, or the information reached out to you?
The information reached out to me, because every morning I get notifications on what's going on in the global market. So yes, but I hardly get notifications from the Ghana stock markets. As a matter of fact, when I was doing my research for the 2020 competition, I had a lot of difficulties in accessing the GSE sites, because sometimes when I click on the website, the link, when when it opens, it says there's restricted access to this. So I got my information from the company's website and not from the Ghana stock market. So I honestly don't know how Charlene was able to access the stock market, because I had a lot of difficulties when I was trying to use their website. And if you even send a mail to them asking for something, you don't really get a response from anybody. So,
Okay, so all right,
yeah,
thank
the
you.
information chases me.
Thank you. Harriet, are you still there? Hello, Harriet.
I am around. I'm present.
Okay, so so the information gets to you, all right? If the information chases you, is it likely that you will put some funds in the market? Just let me know. If you get adequate information keeps chasing you, is it likely it can change your mentality about investing in the market?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. There's a lot of noise around, lots of information around. And so if they are able to get it to us in the through the medium that there isn't much noise block, like through a more clear medium, like probably SMS, information on the stock exchange, I think that could be a good way to increase participation and interest.
But Harriet, there's one instance I want to draw your attention to. During the MTN IPO, I know you heard about it. MTN was all over the place. There was so much buzz about this IPO. You heard it, but it didn't push you. Why?
Back then, I heard about it, but back then I didn't have so much understanding of the stock exchange. Do you get it? But presently, with my current condition, if I have an opportunity like that, I'll be more interested in it and do more research and see how I can take advantage of it.
Okay, Emanuela, welcome.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
so yeah, so we've had some discussions which I know you followed from where you are, but Emanuela, you know the market has been a lot of people have earned a lot of money on the market. Okay, in your profile you mentioned you're a trainee broker or a trainee trader. All right, which stocks have you traded in so far?
Currently, I have traded Enterprise Group.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Enterprise
which
Group.
institution are you taking up this training?
The ICU West Africa.
Oh, okay. So we have the platform that. So far, what has been the experience like? Is it interesting? Is it something you like to do over and over again, or you just doing it just for curiosity's sake?
So far, I think the problem with let's say the web app is they just list the companies, and I think they have to add, let's say, how the market is going concerning the company listed. Let's say graphic representation of the movement of the company will give more information about the company. But they just listed the company there with their prices, and then yeah.
Okay. So aside the experience we are having now with the institution we are having the training at, when was the first time you heard about the market? The Ghana Stock Exchange, I mean. When was the first time?
Please come again.
I'm saying, aside the training you're having currently with the institution, all right, when was the first time you heard about the Ghana Stock Exchange?
The first time I heard was when we started the stock competition. That's when I got to the Ghana Exchange. I actually didn't have any idea about Ghana Stock Exchange here.
Okay, so the first time you heard about the stock exchange was through the Young Investors Network, the stock pitch competition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Ivy, I'm coming to you. If I should ask you this question, all right, you have an issue with accessibility, getting information, there may be others. If I should ask you, what would you like to tell the exchange to change in terms of helping you get access to the market? If they are to ask you, what would you want to see change in terms of accessibility to the market?
So access to this information, I realized that in our world, we young people like myself don't like to really go into something or look out for certain things if they are not interested. Person is interested in the Ghana Stock Exchange, the person wouldn't go to the Ghana Stock Exchange website to look for information. So just wants to get information to us. They can use companies or institutions like research centers and then reach out to these young people. We can target the universities and then the SHS and then primary school. Also, I feel GSE should also go digital. I don't know if they are really digitalized, but then if they are very digitalized, more of us young people like myself would go or would look out for such information because we are usually on our phones, and then if maybe it's Harriet that said it, or saying that if or Amma, if you receive messages and SMSs and maybe emails about the Ghana Stock Exchange, I think it would it would help change the perception some of us have about the Ghana Stock Exchange.
We are talking about digitalization. I remember last year we got a message from the GSE about the platform, the new online platform that is used in trading. Okay, I can see Anna nodding her head. That means she can remember. So I shared this link on all of our platforms. Does it mean that, Ivy, you didn't see it or you ignored it? At least it could have been the first step for you to have access to the market. Did you try it?
Maybe I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. Okay. All right. So maybe from here we can all go back to work and then. So another issue is that the GSE is not making noise about this platform. Since it's not really out there, nobody's hearing about it. They are not making much noise about it. I don't think I'm wrong in saying this. Charlene, so coming to it again, if you are asked to advise the GSE, what should the GSE do to let the market be attractive to people like you?
Okay, so for this, I would take an example. Right now, like on my phone, before I wanted to make this point, I checked if GSE app that like is being used, and I realized there was nothing like that. You see how boys are into betting companies, and then these coins they trade in, the Bitcoin, the crypto, and all of that, they have apps. And then for those apps, they are able to see what is happening. I have invested, what is happening with my money? It's going up. Mostly you hear them, Bitcoin is crashing, and they are all over the place. So I feel if the GSE had something like that, where the various stocks are being listed, they see what is happening. This is going up, this is going down, information about the various companies. If there was something like that, I feel we, the young people, will be more interested. And if you're able to see the returns as being real, not something surreal, like they see the returns. Okay, this is what I'm making. This is where this is hitting. Because the last time wasn't last week, I received information that Finance made like I think last year they were able to make I think a certain amount of profit, and it was very right there. A friend of mine approached me and was like, "Did you even know about this?" I was like, "Oh, like I just saw it," and the boy was like very eager. "Oh, I wish I knew. I wish I saw this." So I feel like there was something like that out there where they could track and see, get information. They'll be very interested, and the boy is like very interested and wants to invest in something because he saw that. So I feel if there's something like that for them out there, yeah, it will really help and it attracts people like us to want to invest.
Okay, wonderful. We'll give the public a chance to come in. All right, so if you can all put your hands down, then we can we'll call on you when our guests are done with their submissions. So, Rabna,
Hello, Kofi.
yes. So, if you are given a chance to suggest to the GSE, I have never seen the GSE trend before since Twitter came to be. I've never seen a GSE trend, all right, and I've never seen a listed company trend as well. And even when GCB and the other bank, also GCB, when the issue started happening, I did not see GCB trend on its own or issues with GCB trend. With your experience, your little experience, why do you think this is the case? And if there's any suggestions?
Well, I think that maybe Ghana Stock Exchange is neglecting the marketing side.
Yeah. Okay, I think we lost the I think we lost the Jovila, yeah. Okay, Rabna is back. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking about digital marketing and how marketing has become a very hot cake in our world today.
No, we lost you from the beginning, so if you can just come from that point.
Okay, so I was trying to identify the problem. You said GCB didn't trend. You never saw, and you've never seen the Ghana Stock Exchange trend on Twitter.
Yeah.
How do we make a tweet trend or a story trend? It comes down to the key people who work in these places. So digital marketers and the whole marketing department. So my suggestion is that they use more of social media. They employ people who are tech savvy, who can, put up content to attract the youth. So we have Instagram, Twitter. Sometimes you see Bitcoin trending on Twitter, or maybe somebody passed a comment, Donald Trump passed a comment, and the Bitcoin is really, really going down, and people are making so much noise about it. And it even makes people like myself who don't invest in the foreign space, we get to hear what's going on there. Okay, so I think that's what the Ghana Stock Exchange should do. They should use social media, digital marketers, and all of that.
Okay, thank you. Emmanuel, I'm coming to you again. You are in tech. I think you're only tech rep here. We have seen activities of KNUST trend on social media a lot of times. Be it the Hall, Katanga, KNUST freshers. We've been seeing it. How did they go about it? Because this, I don't know, but how is it done? How did they go about it? You are also a tech lady. How do you do it? Hello, Manuela is not here. Yovela, if you are given the chance to ask or to tell the GSC what should be done to make it attractive to young people, what will you tell the GSC?
Okay, so as Irabna said, we the youth, we are more interested in social media. So the easiest way to attract us to want to invest, on the GSC is through the social media platform. So there are influencers on social media who have a lot of following, and if the GSC maybe could contract them or something to get them to talk about the Ghana stock market. And also, I think the companies who are also on the market, they should also do well to make us want to invest in their organizations, because you can get some companies whose share price have been the same for close to 3-4 years, and or maybe they are not even paying dividends at all. An organization like this, I wouldn't want to put my money inside, because I know it will take a long time before I earn a return. So these come there. I don't know, the security, the SEC should find a way of, I don't know if it's in their regulation, but they'll find a way of getting the companies to make their share prices attractive to we the youth.
Okay, so away from the social media trends, Ivy, what do you think the GSE should do to make it attractive to young people?
Okay, so I don't know the interaction of the government, but I feel the government has a role to play in this whole information accessibility and all that. Um, the government has a say in it, I'm sure. So if the government speaks on behalf of GSE, I feel information will be reached. Like the information we need as a youth will be accessible to us. So the government should. I don't know how, but then the government has a say in it with the activities of GSE. So the government should play a very big role in there.
Okay. You think the government should step in? I don't know what you think. Emanuela, your hand is up. Can you come in?
Yeah, Kofi.
Hi.
I also suggest that the Ghana Stock Exchange, they should as the health sector, the technology, and then the energy sector, because it's only when you look at the Ghana Stock Exchange platform, it's only the banking sector that is really, let's say, high. Yeah.
Okay. I think we lost you briefly. If you can just
And
quickly repeat what you said, so that we Hello, Manuela.
I said should expand their services to other companies and other sectors, such as the health sectors and then technology and then the energy sector, because I think it's only the banking sector that is really high on the
Okay, so if I'm getting you
Ghana Stock
correctly,
Exchange.
if I'm getting you correctly, all you are saying is that the other sectors or companies listed on the market, we are not seeing enough activity. It's just the banking sector that we're seeing more action. That's all you're saying. So there should be something to be done to enhance the activity in the other sector. Emmanuel, a minute, I'll get in touch with you. Yovela, you have your hand raised up.
Yes, there's one thing I want to add. I think, see that there's the GSE course, which most of us in the university don't know about it, as compared to the ACC and then the ICA course, which immediately you get to level 100, it's like everybody's talking about ICA or doing ACC. I think if the stock market could get either our lecturers to talk to us about that, there's a course under the Ghana Stock Exchange, where you can, after doing it, you become a certified broker and all. It will get people interested in things about the stock market, because aside wanting to toe the accounting lane, you also want to move maybe into the stock or the equity market.
Okay, I think it is a very strong point. I think last week we had a discussion on this Young Investors Network, how to get the GISI accessible to students on the campus. So some steps are being taken on that front. Rabna, kindly come in.
So I also think that GSC can employ campus volunteers to speak on their behalf. So you have a few people from different campuses, Tech, Legon, Ashesi, all the universities talking about the Ghana Stock Exchange, because I feel like that way information is brought down to our level. So you have your colleagues telling you about the Ghana Stock Exchange and you begin to appreciate it more. Secondly, so I don't know how far the Ghana Stock Exchange is supporting the Young Investors Network, but I think that we are really doing a great job, but we don't have that much publicity. And so I also think that Ghana Stock Exchange should partner with YIN and also cause they should partner with us so that we have that publicity and we go bigger. Because even this competition that we had, the Stockbridge competition, it could have been on a very larger scale. It could have been on national televisions. So we should think about, we should have a bigger vision for the country and for the youth as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabina. Now we invite the public. So the first online is Emmanuel. Emmanuel, what do you have to tell us? Your microphone is off, please.
Do you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. So quickly, I just want to touch on it. I think Yovela raised the question or mentioned that the stock market is not that active. I think you addressed it in a way, but I also want to mention that I think it's the Ghanaian culture that makes we look to be, as Ghanaians, we look to be a bit risk averse. If you look at the exchange, you realize that a lot of the foreign players put so much money in the exchange, and they make so much money compared to the local investors that are that tilt towards the debt markets, because the returns are guaranteed. So yes, they would look out for something that gives them assurance. But the equity or the stock market is very, very active. And a lot of the investors, like you mentioned, I think close of last year, the exchange made over 42, 44%, making it either the first or the best exchange in Africa. So that should tell you how vibrant the exchange is. Also, to touch on the relevance of information, there are some of the information available on the exchange. Nonetheless, because investors or the individuals don't trade directly on the exchange, but trade through their brokers, it is very important to get in touch with your broker or broker dealer or the security firm that you are trading through to get you information, because I know that a lot of the brokerage firms do end of day assessment on the market and send them via mails and then on other platforms. So all of these informations are available. What I realize is that sometimes a lot of the informations are not being are not put in our face like that. You need to just dig a bit deeper. And it's not just here in Ghana. In a lot of the exchanges, you need to dip a bit deeper to get all of this information. But I would encourage all of us to try as much as we can to talk to the brokerage firms, for more information if we are so interested in investing in the stock exchange market. That's all I have to say for now.
Thank you, Emmanuel. You didn't fully introduce yourself. Which institution do you work with and all that? If you could just briefly tell us about yourself. I don't know whether you heard that. Okay, so let me just proceed to Patience. I see your hand up. Patience, can you make a comment?
Yes. Now is that when the bank comes to campus, they hardly talk about the products from the stock exchange.
Okay, Patience, you still have issue with your line. You still have an issue with your line. If you could reposition yourself, it would be very grateful. Lawrence Zikri, you were a participant of the stock taking competition last year. Can you go ahead? I see your hand up.
Okay, there are some of the companies on the stock market who are really doing well. The last time I checked, this is a good company. But because we really need the figures to make decisions, we are much interested in their financial statement. But this company, when you go online, unlike the other companies, you can access their financial statement. And which is I personally wanted to invest in that company because I looked at the trend of their, how do you call it, their market price, and it was really increasing, like encouraging for people to invest it. So I think such information might be made available to those outside who are interested in investing in such firms. I don't know why it is not there though, but I think it should be there so that we'll be encouraged to actually invest. Also, concerning the advertisement of the Ghana Stock Exchange market, you see, the reason why most people are into betting is that right now, if you want to do anything small, before you realize there's a notification popping up, bet you this and that. So people are attracted, okay, to do it. So if the stock exchange market should be doing, the Ghana Stock Exchange market should be doing something like this, before you open another, how do you call it, tab, you see the Ghana Stock Exchange, people will be talking about it and stuff. You'll be encouraged to also, how do you call it, look, at least take a look at what it is, okay, and probably dive into it. So I think they didn't match our advertisement on that.
Okay. Thank you, Lawrence. Caleb, Kwesi, if you can hear me, kindly introduce yourself and go ahead with the submission.
Caleb, a computer science student, by the way, 4th year. So I've heard people pose suggestions and ways the Ghana Stock Exchange market can solve the current loophole they are facing and all that. But mine was, how best can we, as in the people here, also push this agenda themselves? Now, we find ourselves giving so many suggestions to the Ghana Stock Exchange. But then can we also see that we can also do something on our own to push the Ghana Stock Exchange to make it enticing for our colleagues and friends to also join and start investing? So the best way can be we invest in ourselves, talking about it with people as in what was it Kelvin, the guy who spoke before me? The more you talk about it, the more you tell people how beneficial it is. People will be enticed to join or make investments in firms and all that. Another thing is, I think Irabna touched on it, contracting students here to educate people on the Ghana Stock Exchange and the way things are going. It would be good if students here who have enough knowledge on these things and are made ambassadors to educate people who don't have any knowledge. To be frank with you, I'm a guy who likes investments, and I'm more into tech investments. And so I never knew there was the Ghana Stock Exchange market was really booming. Until I just recently checked. I mean, whilst on the meeting, I checked and I saw, oh, the Ghana Stock Exchange is really doing well. So how come I'm not hearing anything? I feel as people here, people can serve as ambassadors here to help preach the word on campus. Tech, GSE, Legon, UBS, and all those places too. I mean, to raise the bar, because if it starts from the campuses, the possibility of it growing is going to be high, because these people are going to now leave campuses, start working, and immediately they start working, you see that information will be spreading. Information spreads so fast.
Hello, Caleb, looks like you muted your microphone. Okay, so okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I'm done. Or if there was a breakage or anything.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Caleb. Yes. So okay. Last, let me just speak to Yovela. But before Yovela, in last year when we concluded the stockage competition, we made mention that the finalists were about I think about 25 or so. You were automatically ambassadors of the exchange. That is why we have put these young people together. They are reps from KNUST, UCC, University of Ghana. Okay, basically, we've been made ambassadors of the exchange. We are keeping it together so that we push the agenda of promoting the Ghana Stock Exchange. So with the point on the making students ambassadors, I think the GSE has started with the Young Investors Network. The process has started and we are not ending. until everybody is educated. So Vela, you have your hand up, please.
Yes. So with respect to what Emmanuel said, that the brokerage companies are there always sending their end of days. I think the brokerage companies don't do very well in advertising themselves as compared to the commercial banks. Because when you're a fresher, you get to campus, there are a lot of commercial banks agents on campus trying to get you to create an account with their banks, as compared to broker companies or broker firms where you don't hear anything from them. So if unfortunately for you don't have someone who works in the brokerage company and then you want to invest in the equity market, you wouldn't know how till you get to know that, oh, you need to pass through a broker before you can even get access to purchase shares on the market. So if the broker firms could also work on coming out more, I think it will make the GSE, the work of the GSE very easy to get the youth to start trading on the stock markets.
Okay, that's a very good point you have made. Ravna, can you come in, please?
Thank you, Kofi. So please, the issue with regards to the ambassadors for the Ghana Stock Exchange, I think it shouldn't just be like word of mouth. We should follow formal procedures. So maybe we get emails from Ghana Stock Exchange saying that, okay, you have been contracted as a volunteer for us. These are your duties. These are your KPIs. These are the things that you're supposed to do. Then we have a clearer and more structured process. But if it's just said by word of mouth that, okay, you are an ambassador, we may not do the work well, we may not do the work completely. Maybe we are supposed to do a 10/10 job, but then we ended up doing like 5/10 because we don't actually know what exactly we are supposed to do. So if we are ambassadors, I think that there should be a formal system. So we are sent emails with letters that's, okay, you are an ambassador, this is what you are supposed to do. These are your key performance indicators. And Peter, I also have a question. I want to know, we've all spoken about inaccessibility of information. I want to know if it's a deliberate attempt by some companies to hide information from us, because there's something like right to information. Maybe there are certain information that are not supposed to go out publicly. I want to know if that also counts in this instance. Thank you.
So far as we are concerned, hiding information is an offense. So once you're a publicly listed company, every information relevant, every information should come out. This will enable investors to make decisive decisions. So as to whether the deliberate attempt by companies to hide information, if they are caught, they could be punished.
Yes, please.
So there's something like that. All right, Caleb, I think we've used 1 hour already, so let's spend the last 5 minutes, right, then we bring the session to a close. Caleb, can you come in?
All right, sure. So one thing that just came to mind is I feel would be good for the Ghana Stock Exchange market, the Young Investors Network, and the people here to do an understudy of countries who have their stock exchange markets doing very well. That way we can also learn from them, see what the areas they are doing very well compared to ours. Yes, we know there's a big gap between us and the Western world, but then it still doesn't change the fact that we can adapt to systems and build ourselves towards a particular goal we want to attain. So, I mean, this will be some form of objectives for everybody here, for the Young Investors Network and for the Ghana Stock Exchange market, to understudy countries who have their stock exchange markets and be very how well they are able to attract people to invest in companies and stock in their country and all this. I think that would be good. I don't know if anyone agrees with what I'm saying.
I think it's a very good point. As I said at the beginning of the meeting, the GSC is very much interested in what we are doing. They have asked us to send them the video copy. All right, so they are going to take all the points that we have made very seriously, and I'm sure they'll take steps to it. And let me take this message from Patience. Okay, so Patience says, I think the brokers are always waiting for people to come to them. If there will be a way which they can come out to the youth, it will make the process a bit more convenient for the youth, she says. And Emmanuel Chebafo says, Caleb, I suggest the GSE should first work on a platform before we introduce it to our colleagues. Because if we do, okay, we should just first work on the platform before we introduce it to our colleagues. Because if we do, they go and see, if we do, they go and see the platform. I think it's not very clear here. See the platform unattractive. Okay, so if you can just come back to that statement again, I'll be very grateful. Yovela, lastly.
Yes. There's one more thing I want to add. When I was younger in primary, there used to be these non-profit organizations who had these pamphlets or very, very small magazines they used to sell to us at then 2 cedis or 1 cedi, I'm not so sure. And then inside were stories and puzzles and all those kinds of things. So I think if either Young Investors Network or Young Investors Network, sorry, in collaboration with the GSE, it could come up with a finance magazine for the younger children. So we can sell it to them in the primary schools at a very low cost of 1 or 2 cedis. And then inside, because we have beautiful writers in the university who can find a way of designing or creating, who can create the GSE in a beautiful short story. This is just going to let like the younger children know that, oh, okay, it's like you grow up and then you know that there's, before you even get to the university or to SHS, you know that there's something like the stock market, you know, there are things we call shares and all. So it can also help shape their career choices because now they get to know that we have a financial market out there. So if Young Investors Network could do maybe a finance magazine for just primary and JHS children, yeah, I think it will also help. Yeah.
Thank you, Ovila. I think we've all done very well. Thank you all for participating in this session. Some of the points that I'm taking from here. The last point Ovila just made, finance magazines for the younger people. I think it's very, very important and make it a little dramatic for kids to understand and appreciate. And the GSC ambassador, it has to be structured properly so that we can get at least those of us who participated in the stock pitch competition who are still with the Young Investors Network can go out there, talk to friends, talk to families about the stock exchange. I think by so doing, a lot can be done. And we also had a suggestion about social media, which should be taken very seriously. Young people on campus can be an army, they can be an army of students who can make activities on the stock market trend. They can easily make it trend easily. So these ambassadors, when properly structured, can make activity on the market trend. Okay, so that is just to say but a few, but there are more suggestions that all of you have mentioned in this session. I would like to thank all of you for making time with us. It has been a very good session. Suggestions from Caleb and Emmanuel from the public. We can get in touch. Those of us that we are not in touch, let's get in touch. My name is Kofi Che. I work with UMB Investment Holders Limited as a fund administrator. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for joining us. Bye bye.